everybody. I'm here with another chapter of reading through the Bible. One thing I'm going to mention here, it's good to read the Bible because it'll help you learn to grow. But I tell you this, going through what I've been going through here has also helped me grow. Not only, reading a Bible will help you grow, but if you're reading and studying to prepare to teach somebody else, it'll also help you to grow too, which is helping me. I'm hoping, that I'll be able to reach out to somebody out there. I don't have very many people listening to what I've got, but so far in these videos, I've reached one little milestone here. I've gotten 10 views so far. I know that's not much, but I want more so I can reach more people. And most have been like 1 second views, but I'm waiting for eventually, hopefully I'll get to a point where there'll be people be watching the whole video through, getting the whole message. But well, here goes. I'm rereading chapter 6 in Genesis. Chapter 6. Now it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterwards, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thought of his heart was only evil continuously. And the Lord was sorry that he had made man on this earth, and he was grieved in his heart. So the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping things and birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. This is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a just man, perfect in his generation. Noah walked with God, and Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was also corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. So God looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And God said to Noah, The end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make room in the ark, and cover it inside and outside with pitch. And this is how you shall make it. Its length shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. And you shall make a window for the ark, and you shall finish it to a cubit from above, and set the door of the ark on its side. You shall make it with lower, second, and third decks. And behold, I myself am bringing floodwaters on the earth to destroy under heaven all flesh, in which is the breath of life. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall go into the ark. You, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you, and every living thing of all flesh. You shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark, to keep them alive with you, that they shall be male and female. Of the birds after their kind, of animals after their kind, and of every creeping thing on the earth after its kind, 2 of every kind will come to you, and keep them alive. And you shall take to yourself of all the food that is eaten, and you shall gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. Thus Noah did, according to all that God commanded him. So he did. Okay. Now this is a story of the wickedness that was on earth, and details that led to the flood. Now in verse 2 here, we have some, a verse that some people have a little bit of discussion about. Verse 2, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they had chose. Now some here see that this is talking about angels mating with humanity and the creation of Nephilim. Now some believe Nephilim were angel-human hybrids that had created during that time. Or another interpretation, that the sons of God were the descendants of Seth, and that the daughters of man were the descendants of Cain, and at that time that the descendants of Cain were supposed to be separated from the descendants of Seth. But I myself am a little bit more toward the angel interpretation, the supernatural, because there are fallen angels who would have, the followers of Satan, of Lucifer, who would use that opportunity to corrupt the creation of God, which was mankind, by diluting our blood, making us half human and half angel, thus getting rid slowly, generation by generation, of the human aspect of God's creation and bringing wickedness into it. And this aspect, God had to stamp out this angel rebellion to keep the human race pure through the genealogy and through to Jesus Christ. Who knows what we would have been like if the flood didn't happen? We definitely would. I know there are problems that we have, but there are a lot of good that we have, and if it was allowed to go on like it was, I don't think there would be any good left in this world. As it says here, there were giants in verse 4, that there were giants on the earth in those days, and afterwards, when a son of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children, those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, that every intent of the thought of his heart was only evil continuously. That there was no good going on then, because the goodness was being diluted out. And in verse 3, let's go back to verse 3. It says here, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Now in chapter 5, it was talking about year spans of time, but that was lifetimes of individuals. But here it says, it doesn't mention an individual, so it's referring to the whole human race. And what he's meaning here, that at this time it's going to be 120 years until the flood. And getting back to verse 6, and the Lord God was sorry that he had made man on this earth, and he was grieved in his heart, as he was sad what he had created had fallen to such an extent. And it was sad he needed to redo everything over. And in verse 8, we introduce Noah here. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. This is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a just man, perfect in his generation. Noah walked with God. Just like I mentioned before in the last chapter, Noah was another person that walked with God. And Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And it mentions in verse 11 and 12 of the corruption of earth and how how angry and disappointed it made God. And we're going through 13, going over to 13 here. This is instructions. 13 through 16 are instructions on how God wanted Noah to build the ark. Details of how long and how high. You can read those verses and it'll tell you. Now we're going to 17 here, where he's telling Noah what he's going to do. He's prophesying that the world will be destroyed. And behold, I myself am bringing flood waters on the earth to destroy from under heaven all flesh which is in the breath of heaven. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall go into the ark, your sons and your wives, and your sons' wives with you. And every living thing of all flesh, you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark, to keep them alive with you, that they shall be male and female. Of the birds after their kind, of animals after their kind, and of every creeping thing of the earth after its kind, 2 of every kind will come with you, so you can keep them alive. And you shall take for yourself of all food that is eaten, and you shall gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. Now this is, right here he's telling Noah how he's going to use him to repopulate the earth, to make a better earth, so that his righteousness can continue on. As it had to be restarted. God could have easily decided to destroy everything and just wipe his hands of all creation. But he loved us enough to give us a second chance. God is always giving second chances. But also, God does not like evil and iniquity. And he will stamp it out. Because it is good that evil shall be punished. Like say when you were a kid and you did something wrong. You got punished by your parents for it. You probably didn't like it, but in hindsight you can think that you realize that they did the right thing for you, to bring you up to be a better person, to be more right. And, well, that is all I have to say about that. Well, I hope this is reaching you, and I will continue on, and amen.